Welcome back. We're going to be talking today about Chapter 3 in the textbook. This particular chapter deals with federalism. We had a prior lecture that you have seen probably the first week of this course dealing with federalism. We're going to get more specific relative to how Texas and the government of the United States of America relate to one another in this whole federalism issue. Texas and the federal government do interact with each other. Under the Constitution of the United States, they divided up the powers. There's some powers that are designated to be solely the powers of the United States of America, that government. There are some powers that are designated solely for the state of Texas and the other states in the United States. And there are some shared powers. Let me give you some examples. If I were to ask you who prints your money or makes your coins, you would most probably say it's the government of the United States of America, and that's simply true. Okay? It is the sole power of the government of the United States of America to govern our money. If I were to ask you who gets to determine rules pertaining to public education in the United States, with the exception of a few rules relative to discrimination, integration, and so forth, the states have the power to determine the rules per public education in the United States. So it's the Texas Education Agency, and it is the local school district that has 99% of the power in that particular area. But then let me ask you this. Is there a military in the United States of America? And of course the answer is yes. And we have several branches. We have the Navy, and of course the Navy includes the Marine Corps. We have the United States Army, and we have the United States Air Force. And as of a few days ago or weeks ago or months ago, depending on when you're viewing this, the President of the United States has authorized the Pentagon to create a United States Space Force. So we'll see how that works out. So that means that we have a military in the United States, and it takes care of our defense. Do the states have militaries? Why would they need them? Because the United States has the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marines, and the Coast Guard. The answer is yes. For example, there is a Texas National Guard. Texas has an Army, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Texas Army is the governor of the state of Texas. New Mexico has a New Mexico National Guard, and the Commander-in-Chief of the New Mexico National Guard is the governor of New Mexico. Texas has an Air Force. Texas has the equivalent of a Navy. New Mexico has an Air Force. Does New Mexico have the equivalent of a Navy? The answer is no. And the reason is New Mexico doesn't have any water. Okay, so some of these things are kind of common sense, and a lot of government is common sense, as you hopefully will learn over the course of this semester. So these are part of the shared powers. Now, there are two types of federalism that you can see in the United States, and your next assignment is to define both coercive federalism and dual federalism. I'm looking for approximately 100 to 150 words on each of those, dual federalism and coercive federalism. Send those to me through Blackboard course messages, and I'll see you soon. I hope you're having a great semester. Thanks.